Episode 144. Today we debut our new series, Down on the Farm, and interview international free agent for the Pittsburgh Pirates, Robinson Smith. You're listening to the Bucco Banter podcast, brought to you by the Just Baseball Media Network. Cue the music.
Rockin' 101, she compliment my taste. Whiskey in my lemonade, cause I like the way it tastes. Best seats at the Pirates game, they let me run the base. Yeah, my time is like my money, cause I can't afford to waste. Wifey is a lawyer, take my date to my dates. Order steak by the plates, and in case after case, run my race at my pace, clear the grass of the snake.
Welcome back to another episode of Bucco Banter. Today is the first inaugural Down on the Farm episode. We've been doing Down on the Farm for a while, over a year now, actually. But now it's its own episode. We're going to be talking to a lot of prospects. We announced it yesterday on our Sunday episode. I'm excited to dive into everything Pirates farm system, man.
Like you said, man, we've been talking about the minor league system for quite some time, and there's so much to discuss. And we've been throwing it into these Sunday episodes. And instead of giving you an hour episode, let's focus on Major League Baseball on those episodes. And then let's do an entire episode of Down on the Farm, because there's so much to talk about. AAA, AA, high A, low A, the complex, Dominican Summer League. We're going to cover it all here, just like we've been doing on Down on the Farm. But we're also going to introduce prospects, interviews. We're going to highlight certain guys. We have an awesome one here today that we can't wait to show you in Robinson Smith. But before we get into all that, let's do an ad read for our newest partner, Rhythm. Scott, I'm a terrible gambler.
Me too.
I'm bad at it. And you know why I'm bad at it? Because I just go on the app, I scroll through, I click, and then I just waste my money. I don't do that anymore since I downloaded Rhythm. Rhythm is an algorithm. It's an app where you build your data-backed betting model in just minutes. No coding, no spreadsheets, just a clean, easy-to-use interface that shows you how to make educated bets. You get daily projections on player props, both pitching and hitting, plus money lines, totals, and run lines, all back tested to ensure that models are built to help you win. Right now, just use the code JUSTBASEBALL. That's all caps, JUSTBASEBALL50 for 50% off the entire year. You hear that, Scott? The entire year, 50% off.
Can't beat that.
You'll have access to MLB, NFL, NBA, and college hoops. Try it for free for 7 days and bet smarter with Rhythm.
I will no longer think I'm smarter than Vegas, Adam. Pretty cool partnership, though. I'm excited to really dive into the app and share more about that going forward. But let's get into the Pirates minor league talk. A lot going on down in Indianapolis, Altoona, Greensboro, Bradenton. A lot of baseball to talk about. Let's jump into some news first. Some injuries. Xander Meath, or Muth, as they would say in Pittsburgh, placed on the 7-day IL. He's been in Bradenton. Don't know the details of his injury. If we hear anything, we'll obviously put it out there. But yeah, he's on the 7-day IL. These are usually shorter stints. Nick York just got off of that. Christopher Melendez, reliever in Altoona. I believe he was in the breakout game too, along with left-hand pitcher Anthony Solomito, also on the 7-day IL. Don't know the details on those either. Hopefully those are quick ones. Along with that, Sean Ross, the catcher, was transferred from Indianapolis back to Altoona. I think he was filling in temporarily in Indy. Well, they didn't have a backup catcher. J.C. Flowers finished a rehab with the FCL, went back to Altoona. And 2024 sixth round pick out of UC Santa Barbara, Matt Ager, was assigned to Bradenton, made his first start. We'll talk more about that when we get to the Marauders. Lastly, there's a trade this week. It's mostly a minors deal. We saw Brett Sullivan on the field the other day. He's at PNC Park. He's in Pittsburgh. I think he's on the taxi squad, probably heading to Indianapolis. They acquired him from San Diego. They need catching depth, especially after losing Jason DeLay to the Braves and Andy going on the IL. He was acquired from San Diego for outfielder Bryce Johnson, who was at Indianapolis, also a former Padre. So he goes back to San Diego, gives them some outfield depth, a need on both sides at the AAA level. So that's what's happening so far in the news. What do you got for us, Adam?
I want to highlight some guys. We'll start with the obvious one in Bubba Chandler, because we got a question the other day that we weren't able to address on the Bucco Banter Major League podcast. Where's Bubba Chandler? That was the question from friend of the show and our boss, Peter Apple. Where is Bubba Chandler, the Pirates' top prospect? right now? I think that's a valid question.
We know where he is.
Look, we know where he is. He is in Indianapolis. We haven't lost him. But
we know where he left him last.
Right. From the outside looking in, if you're not a Pirates fan, you see the record, you see the struggles, and you would assume, hey, a guy that has a 1.76 ERA in 15 innings pitched with 23 Ks and a 0.78 whip would be up at the major league level. Here's the problem. Pitching is not the issue right now.
Yeah.
In Pittsburgh. You can make the argument for Carmen Majinski, and I'm not going to get into too much major league talk here, but Bubba Chandler will be up soon. I think we're probably looking at mid-May if I were to take an educated guess if we're going on the Skeens route, because that's how they're treating it, right? We've mentioned it before. This is a Skeens level prospect. He might not be Paul Skeens, but the stuff and how they're developing Bubba Chandler is right on pace with that. We have to remind ourselves, he's a high school guy. This isn't somebody who pitched in the national championship at LSU. This is a high school guy, and he's worked his way up to AAA quicker than most. So real quick, Scott, he's got 10 Ks versus lefties, 13 Ks versus righties. He's got a 55.6% ground ball rate right now. And on top of that, he's striking out guys at a 41% clip.
Is he facing Jack Sawinski every at bat?
Yeah, like this is gross. His opponent average is 0.121. 121. He's dominating. There's no other way to put it. It's just like how Skeens was. It's a man amongst boys, but Bubba Chandler has been dominating, rest assured. And another guy that I want to highlight right now is Hunter Barco at the AA level, and we're wondering when he's going to be called up to AAA. I think it's when Bubba gets called up.
Yeah.
I think it's going to just be the next in line. I don't think there's a spot right now for him because in most case scenarios, a college arm and Hunter Barco coming out of University of Florida would usually be up by now, or at least in AAA. He's gotten off to an unreal start. He's got a 0 ERA, 13 innings pitched, 14 Ks, Scott, and a 0.62 whip. Versus lefties, they're hitting 250. Versus righties, 77.
Splits.
Yeah, he's got reverse splits here. He's striking guys out at nearly 30%. Sitting around, 92, 93, but he's touching 95.
Yeah, but he was touching 92, 93 when he started his pro career coming out of Florida, and he's really ramped up that fastball. This is a guy who I think is going to be a midseason top 50 prospect in all of baseball.
Oh, I agree with that.
He's
lefty, man.
Been one of the best pitching prospects in all of baseball dating back to last year.
Yeah.
Stats-wise, especially. But just stuff, too, has just been moving upwards, trending upwards, shall I say.
It's staying healthy.
Yep.
Right. And I think they've been very careful. I think the decision not to throw him in the Arizona Fall League was calculated. They shut him down last year. I think he was dealing with some type of ailment. I'm not quite certain what it was, but better be safe than sorry. But his projection is 2026. I think there could be a possibility where you see him in Pittsburgh in September. I think depending on how things are going. That's the earliest possible projection, but I think it's impossible to get off to a better start.
Agree.
And then another guy that I know you're high on. We're going to talk about 22-year-old Javier Rivas, who is at a 173 WRC plus right now.
That's context. He's in Greensboro, but still, I believe in the bat big time.
173 WRC plus, Scott.
Yeah.
He's 352, 4 home runs. He's slugging 630. This is a guy who started in the DSL. He spent 2 years on the complex, and like you mentioned, there's power in the bat. There's stuff to dream on here. The K percentage, what's more impressive to me is, the 173 WRC plus, hitting 352. I know it's still early, but the K percentage has dropped nearly 10% since last year. So I think this system, while we lack developed bats in AAA and AA, there's a lot of guys in the lower levels from high A all the way down. I guess you could argue to the Dominican that have a lot to dream on. I know that's so far away, and we're going to do a lot of dreaming on this podcast. This is mostly positive talk here.
Yeah, 100%. But like, this is something we need to highlight, right? Because this is an organization that doesn't develop bats well. And he's a guy that has a lot of people are pointing out his stats. Let's put this aside. And Murphy said the same thing on Twitter. Let's put aside his 173 WRC plus. Let's put aside his 4 home runs, what he's slugging, and a bandbox at his Greensboro, mostly home games so far. The thing that has me most believing in him is that he dropped his K rate. That's been his biggest problem. He spent all last year in Bradenton. It was the whiff that was the big part of his game that struggled. Power speed combo is something you can dream on. He's making a lot more contact. Greensboro doesn't make you make more contact, right? He's a guy that's very charismatic. I'm watching a lot of videos of him. He's always pumping up the dugout, the clubhouse, getting everybody going. He's a leader. You love to see it. He's very vocal. And right now, he's the best defensive shortstop in the whole system.
Let's also highlight this: 6'6", 165.
Yeah, he's a big guy. Like, and I think people believe that Connor Griffin has the potential to be a better shortstop than him, even though I think Connor Griffin ultimately ends in center field. But right now, this is the best shortstop in the system.
I agree.
And this is a guy you want to see guys come up and I guess break out, especially a system that doesn't have a lot of bats. You need a story like Javier Rivas. He's a guy that's really piquing my interest right now, and someone I'm going to be following even closer for the rest of the season because the system badly needs bats.
Of course. Preaching to the choir, man. Let's go to Indianapolis. Let's start our review of Dahn on the farm. They were hosting the Toledo Mud Hens, the AAA affiliate for the Detroit Tigers. Some notes at the top here. Some names to look out for. Billy Cook, 6 for 23 runs, 2 doubles, a triple, 2 RBIs, 3 walks, 4 Ks, and a stolen base. Billy Cook's only hitting 200.
He had a better way. He had a much worse start, though.
Yeah. He got off to a bad start, and I'll agree he's had a much better past couple of weeks. Here's true statements, or at least one. Billy Cook would be the best defender in the outfield on the major league club.
It's not
right
close.
now. It's not close. Could he potentially play a bit better defensive first base than Emmanuel Valdez? Yeah, probably. Is he gonna hit better than Emmanuel Valdez? Right now, probably not. Emmanuel Valdez, as Scott likes to call him, Babe Ruth, is actually lighting it up. Like he's like an analytical darling right now. I can't believe I just said that. Like, yeah, it's wild. So, I mean, I would like to see Billy Cook at some point, but it's a matter of where he fits. And, you know, if you're not lighting the world on fire with the bat in AAA right now, we've talked about it a billion times, how big the jump is from that level to MLB. It's just not going to cut it. And then you got Nick York, who's struggled since he's come back from the IL, 1 for 15 this last week, 2 runs with a double, 4 walks, 6 Ks, and a stolen base. His average is at 179. And then Matt Gorski, who is the talk of Twitter. I think we helped spark that a little bit. That's your fault, actually, today.
Oh, it's not stopping.
That's got like 25,000 views because
you're welcome.
You're pushing the Matt Gorski agenda.
There are 93.7 The Fan commentators that are liking that tweet. So,
well, now
I'm sorry, Ben. I'm sorry.
Listen, I get it because of the frustration and how bad the slug has been at the major league level. And Gorski is somebody that you could dream on to provide that necessary power. Is that going to translate to the major league level? If I was a betting man and I was using rhythm, maybe. But if I wasn't using rhythm, I'd say probably not. Okay. 9 for 25 this past week. You like that? You like that little plug there, by the way?
I love it. That was smooth.
Thank you. 9 for 25 the past week, 7 runs, 3 doubles, 2 home runs, 8 RBIs, a walk, 6 Ks. He's got a 308 average. That's what you're dreaming on. That's what you're hoping that he could provide the club. I mean, Scott, what it doesn't hurt, right?
No. Yeah, you absolutely should give it a shot. This is a guy that has probably plays a better defensive outfield than most of our outfielders right now and provides power. I think they're kind of hoping they get that from Canario. We haven't seen it yet, but yeah, I don't see why you don't give it a shot.
Let's go to Tuesday. You had Braxton Ashcraft start, 4 innings pitched, 6 hits, 2 earned, 3 walks, 3 Ks. Got a 4.15 ERA. Trillo got his rehab start before coming back up. He went 2 for 3 with a home run, 2 RBIs, and a walk. And then Billy Cook went 3 for 5 with a double and a triple. Wednesday, not much to note. Bednar had his third hold in AAA. Of course, we know now that he's back with the big league club. 1 inning pitch, 1 hit, 2 Ks. And then Thursday, Thomas Harrington is back in Indianapolis. 3 innings pitched, 3 hits, 1 earned, 2 walks, 4 Ks. His ERA is at 1.80 right now. And then Eddie Yeen, his second save on the season with a 2-inning save, 1 hit, 1 K. And then Nick Solak. Jim, I know you're out there. I know you're listening. We brought it up. Nick Solak, 3 for 5 with a double, 2 RBIs, and a stolen base. 343 right now, Scott.
Yeah.
Do we have the Solak conversation right now, or is there too many guys like Nick Solak? Or are we just talking
outfield, man? And he could play outfield. Like there are 2 outfielders on this team right now that you could cut, and I think you could replace him with Solak and Gorski.
Who are they cutting?
Do you want me? I'll say it. Tommy Pham.
Do you have to say it? Yeah, okay. I was gonna say. I don't think you need to say that.
Yeah, like there's they can't do any worse than those 2. I mean, they could, but I highly doubt they will.
It's harder to strike out more than 42% of the time.
Yeah. Just ask Kevin Kramer.
It really is. Let's go. Let's finish this up. Friday, you had Mike Burrows, 4 1/3, 3 hits, 3 earned, 3 walks. And Matt Gorski went 2 for 4 with a double, 2 RBIs. Saturday, Bubba Chandler Day, 4 2/3, 2 hits, 1 earned, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts. Eddie Yeen earned a W with 1 1/3, 1 hit, no earned, 1 walk, and 2 Ks. Colin Holderman. Feel like we've forgotten about Colin Holderman a little bit. Got Bednar back up. Colin Holderman is still down. That wasn't hey, you've been bad send down. That's this
is a rehab.
This is a rehab appearance. Wink, wink.
Day off. Wink, wink.
Right. Colin Holderman, 1 inning, no hits, no earned. Matt Gorski went 3 for 4 with 3 runs and 2 home runs on the day. And then Liover Peguero, who's hitting 321, had 2 hits. Peguero, real quick. They've given up on him. It's done, right? I feel like there's no at this point. It's either happened or
he's probably a AAA guy, but you got IKF, who's probably a better bat overall. But at the same time, who's better at shortstop? I don't know. I think probably Peguero. It's what do you value more right now? I think we need the bat.
Yeah, you 100% need the bat.
Yeah,
I could care less about defense, and that's shown with IKF at shortstop. Sunday, real quick, Ashcraft went again, 4 innings pitched, 7 hits, 4 earned, 3 walks. And then Nick Solak, 3 for 4 with a home run, his third on the year and 3 RBIs.
Let's go to Altoona. They were at home against the Somerset Patriots. Termar this week, I think he sat a game. He had a collision. He's okay, though, because he returned 3 for 20, 3 runs, a double, 3 walks, 2 Ks, 2 stolen bases. He's at 245. He slowed down a bit. Jack Brannigan picked it up, 7 for 22. A double, a home run, 7 RBIs, 3 walks, 5 Ks, and stolen base. He's also at 245. Tuesday, Alessandro Urcolani, the Italian stallion, went 3 innings, 3 hits, 1 earned run, 2 walks, 2 Ks. Wednesday, Hunter Barco continued his run, yet to allow a run this year. 5 innings, 1 hit, 1 walk, 6 Ks. Jack Brannigan went 3 for 4 with a double, a home run, and 4 RBIs. Chase Bowen, 1 for 4 with his second home run and 2 RBIs. Thursday, Jaden Woods. He's a guy that was in the breakout game. He's a reliever. He earned a W, 1 2/3, 1 hit, 1 walk, 3 Ks. Mitch Jebb broke out. I don't know if I want to say broke out, but had a multi-hit game. I think it's the first one of the season so far. 2 for 3, 2 RBIs, stolen base. His 5th. If there's anything, he's going to steal about 40+ bags a year. We know that. Derek Diamond has struggled at the AA level. Friday, he went 2 2/3, 7 hits, 5 earned runs, 1 walk, 4 Ks. He's got a 22.74 ERA. Saturday, Po Yu Chen, the Taiwanese pitcher, 5 innings, 1 hit, no earned runs, 5 Ks. He's got a 3.86 ERA in Altoona. Jack Brannigan went 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs. And then Sunday, Urcolani pitched his second outing of the week, 3 innings, no hits, no earned runs, 4 Ks. Jamar returned, went 2 for 5 with a double. On to Greensboro
versus the Jersey Shore Blue Claws, the High A Phillies affiliate. Esmeralda Valdez, 6 for 18, 3 runs, 9 RBIs, 2 doubles, 2 home runs, 4 walks, 10 Ks. He's still hitting 360, man.
He's a guy I believe in too. I love the bat.
Yeah, it's a lot to dream on there. Amaro Alfonso, 3 for 17, 6 runs with a double, 7 walks, 8 Ks. And then Lonnie White Jr. This is a name to look out for this year. We've talked about it being, I don't want to say make or break because he's still so young.
He needs to be an Altoona, man. He needs to be an Altoona.
Yeah, at some point we need to see him keep moving this thing forward. I know he's working on some things. He's made some adjustments with the swing. 4 for 19, 5 runs, a double, 2 home runs, 4 RBIs, 4 walks, 7 Ks, 2 stolen bases. And then Javier Rivas, who we just highlighted at the beginning of the show, 8 for 21, 4 runs, 2 home runs, 9 RBIs with a walk and 6 Ks. He was in contention for minor leaguer of the week. So we'll wait to see. He was a finalist this week. Tuesday, Esmeralda Valdez and Kiner Delgado both went 2 for 4 with doubles. Wednesday, Antoine Kelly pitched 4 innings pitched, 1 hit, no earned, no walks, 4 Ks. His velo is up, Scott.
This is a guy we need to notice too in Greensboro that's breaking out.
Yeah, the velo is up. He's hitting triple digits. This is another guy, big guy, hitting triple digits. The fastball is noticeably better from last year. So maybe somebody who keeps progressing. There's no reason out of all the things to doubt with the Pittsburgh Pirates, pitching is not one of them.
Yep.
And they might not have another one. They might have another flamethrower in Antoine Kelly. Polanco, 2 for 4 with a double, home run. He's got 2 on the year, 2 RBIs. Kiner Delgado, 2 for 4, 2 doubles and an RBI. Thursday, Garrett McMillan took the hill, 4 innings pitched, 4 hits, 2 earned, 5 Ks. Delgado, 3 for 4 with a double and 3 RBIs. Christian Curtis, 2 innings pitched, 4 hits, 7 runs, only 2 earned.
Not the best start for our guy, Christian Curtis.
No, 1 walk, 4 Ks, gave up a home run. He's just got a low 19.06 ERA right now. Lonnie White Jr., 3 for 5 with a double and a home run, 3 RBIs and a stolen base. That's his 7th on the season. And then Javier Rivas, 4 for 6 with a home run, 5 RBIs. And then on Saturday, Connor Wheatgreave. I hope I'm saying that right. Connor Wheatgreave.
I think so. That's his first start in, I think, Greensboro, right?
Yeah, he finished his rehab assignment in Bradenton, and he joined the Greensboro rotation. He was our 7th-round pick from Minnesota, so another college arm. 4 innings pitched, no hits, no earned, no walks, 5 strikeouts, and then Rivas again 1 for 3 with his 4th home run on the season. Sunday, Polanco 2 for 3 with 2 home runs. He's got 4 on the year and 4 RBIs. Esmeralda Valdez hit another home run for his 4th on the season and 3 RBIs.
I just want to note too with Greensboro, if you ever look at their box scores, they fascinate me because their stolen base column is like a paragraph. These guys are stealing like 7 bags a game. It's ridiculous. Deuce Gorson, the UCLA guy that was drafted last year, I think in the 5th to 10th round in one of those rounds. I think he has double-digit stolen bases already. You also have Shaylin Polanco, you have Kiner Delgado, you got Rivas, Lonnie White. I mean, this team steals a ton of bags. Anyways, let's go to Bradenton. They're in Fort Myers this week playing the Mighty Muscles, the low A affiliate for the Minnesota Twins. Connor Griffin, 4 for 20 this week, 4 runs, 2nd home run of the year, 2 RBIs, 2 walks, 4 Ks, 5 stolen bases. 5 stolen bases. He's stealing a ton of bags. He's so fast.
Yeah, let me note something real quick because I think he's gotten off to a great start, all things considered, right? First professional year, right out of high school, hitting the ball really hard. The swing adjustments that we saw when we talked to him early in the year with like the one-handed finish and coming up on the top foot, we kind of compared it to Ronald Acuna, right? At least in terms of like the swing path and the finish. I'm not comparing him to that, but the swing design was similar. The swing is still a 2-handed finish right now when it comes to like in-game play, but I think those same adjustments are just more mental now, right? And more approach based, and he's able to get comfortable with that 2-handed finish, but also have a better path through the zone. And he said it himself. He's focusing on driving everything up the middle, keeping the bat path up the middle. And you've seen that with the results that he's had so far.
Yeah, no, absolutely. He's had a great start. He's hitting 235 right now, but hitting the ball hard, stealing a ton of bags. So love what I'm seeing from him. Johnny Severino, 4 for 21, 2 runs, a double, a home run, 3 RBIs, a walk, 7 Ks, and stolen base. He's at 175. Slow start there in Bradenton for him. Your Donnie De Los Santos, who I feel like had a lost season last year. He was a guy that was on the radar 2 years ago as a prospect. Hope to see him make the jump to Greensboro eventually this year. 6 for 21 run, 2 doubles, a triple, a walk, 7 Ks, 3 stolen bases. He's at 255. Oxiel Plaus continues to hit. Only 3 for 19 this week, but hit a double, 2 RBIs. He's hitting 308. Tuesday, Sean Sullivan made his rehab. This is a 2021 8th rounder out of Cal Berkeley. He threw 2/3 of an inning, 2 hits, 1 run, 1 walk, 2 Ks. Griffin went 1 for 4 with a home run, his second of the year, his 6th stolen base, and an RBI. Severino hit his 2nd home run of the year, went 1 for 5. Yordani De Los Santos and Oxiel Plaus both went 2 for 4 with a double. Wednesday, De Los Santos 1 for 3 with his 3rd stolen base of the year. Thursday, Griffin went 2 for 5 with an RBI and 3 stolen bases in 1 game. He's up to 9. That's pretty insane. Friday, Matt Ager made his first start of the year. We talked about him briefly at the beginning. He was assigned to Bradenton. He was a pick out of UC Santa Barbara last year, college arm. 3 innings pitched, no hits, no earned runs, 2 walks, 3 Ks. Derek Berg was a catcher drafted out of the Army. 3 for 4 with a home run. His first of the year, 3 RBIs. I don't know if you remember last year, but he had inside the Parker for Bradenton after he was drafted. It was pretty cool. I think it was at Port St. Lucie too. I don't know why I remember that. But yeah, I am weird. Saturday, your Donnie De Los Santos went 2 for 4 with a triple. He's at 255, like we said. Bradenton has some interesting guys. They're at 5 and 10. They've got the worst record in the at the affiliate level, but like all the affiliates are performing pretty well record-wise. Not that we really look at that, but Altoona's decent. Greensboro's off to a hot start. Indianapolis has a winning record, so love to see that. That's what we got this week for Down on the Farm, man. It was a exciting week of minor league baseball. We've got more coming. We're recording on a Monday at the minor league off day, like we said. So we'll have more next week. Anything else you want to add?
Yeah, let me for down. Yeah, I mean, kind of related to what we're talking about right now, and it kind of sparked with the De Los Santos talk because that's a guy I want to see a lot more from this year. But I also have a couple first Bowman autograph cards from De Los Santos, and that reminded me to get over to the Just Baseball Discord because you're going to get so much minor league talk over there. And also for all you card fanatics out there, we have the cheapest box breaks you will find if you are a Discord member. For $50 next week, you're looking at a Bowman 2024 draft super jumbo box break, along with 2 Topps Chrome update boxes, some Panini Select boxes. It's awesome. Like, you're going to get major league talk, minor league talk, draft talk, and much, much more. So you could find the link for that in the description below. But Scott, I think we just get into our minor leaguer of the week.
Yeah, let's do that. Absolutely. Minor leaguer of the week. A lot of contenders that had, productive weeks at their affiliate, but I think we got to go with Matt Gorski. I said there was more to come.
Push the agenda, baby.
We're pushing it. We're going to get the conversation started. Matt Gorski had a big week. 9 for 25, 7 runs, 3 doubles, 2 homers, 8 RBIs, a walk, and 6 Ks. He's hitting 308 in Indianapolis. This is a guy who we think can contribute right now. He spent all of last year at Indianapolis, showcased a ton of power, can play outfield and first base. Why not at this point? Why not? We know what we have in Jack Sawinski. We know what we have in Tommy Pham. We know what we have in a lot of these guys. This is why we were advocating for Matt Gorski to get big league at bats in spring, and he didn't get many. I mean, he performed well, but he was coming in at the end of games against AA pitchers.
Yeah.
And I'm not downplaying his results in spring training, but this is a guy that should have seen a lot more big league opportunities in spring. So Matt Gorski is the Bucco Banter minor leaguer of the week.
And just to piggyback off of that, you tweeted it out today. Let's keep pushing the propaganda. AAA barrel percentage leaders right now. Number 1, Roman Anthony, who's
number 1 prospect in baseball.
in all of baseball for the Red Sox. He's barreling at 32.6%. Number 2, Jace Young from Detroit. Number 3, Nick Kurtz, who just got called up today for the Athletics. Almost caught myself there. And then number 4 is Matt Gorski at 21.3%.
It's good company.
That's Nick Kurtz is at 21.4. Matt Gorski's at 21.3. Okay, which is actually crazy because Roman Anthony's at 32.6 and the next closest is 22%.
Yeah. I mean, Roman Anthony's very much so ready for the big leagues, but this isn't a Red Sox podcast. This is, if you want to hear more minor league talk, go to the Call Up Pod. That's a just baseball prospect podcast, but we're focusing mostly on Pirates prospects and affiliates. Matt Gorski to be on that list is huge.
Huge. I agree. Hopefully,
is that all levels or is that just AAA?
That's just AAA.
Still, I mean,
yeah, still, man. There's nowhere else to go but up.
So.
I guess he could go down. I don't,
he could, but I don't think he is. He's like 24 years old, so
he's 27.
Is he really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, let's end it there.
Let's take a break right there, and then we will be back with the Pirates international free agent Robinson Smith. Joining us now on Bucco Banter is 2025 international free agent signing for the Pittsburgh Pirates, Robinson Smith. Robinson, welcome to the show.
Hey guys, thank you for having me.
Robinson, thanks for joining us, man. This has been a long time coming. We've been following you on Instagram and social media. Your parents follow us. I love watching all the updates that they post. I'm happy to have you on and talk about your journey. But first, you're in the Dominican, right? How is that going for you so far?
You know, it's going great. Fields are beautiful. Coaching staff is amazing compared to baseball back home, which is, you know, not too big. We still have amazing coaches back home. The coaches over here are amazing, and, you know, can't complain with any of the food that's provided to us. Everything's provided to us, which is just unbelievable.
What's that been like coming from Australia? You just mentioned briefly it's not as big there. And I mean, there's some big names that have come out into Major League Baseball from Australia that I'd like to talk to you about. But what's the transition like from growing up in Australia, playing ball there, then getting thrown into the Dominican, into the professional ranks?
It's definitely a difficult come up from over there, but to say the least, we have a lot of great potential over there. A lot of hard workers, which I've seen. You know, a lot of the guys that I've grown up with, you know, great athletes, very talented, you know, share the same love and compassion for the game as me.
That's great, man. That's great. Who were some of your idols growing up in Australia? Anyone, you know, from the MLB that you looked up to while you were playing baseball growing up?
I wouldn't say MLB necessarily, but mainly my brother, because he was in state teams and representative teams while I was growing up. So watching him play for a Victorian side, which is where I'm from, Victoria, watching him play for a Victorian team, I definitely wanted to be in those steps. Watching him going to college, I wanted to, you know, play ball in America even more.
What was it like? I know you came from an athletic family. I believe your mom's a 3-time medalist in the Olympics. Was it always baseball to begin with, or did you play other sports growing up, or did you know from a young age that it was going to be just baseball?
So growing up, I was doing a lot of swimming and baseball at the same time. You know, mom definitely wanted me to do more swimming, but she saw the love that I had for baseball. And when I told her that I didn't want to swim anymore, she understood it. She understood it because she saw how hard I was working in baseball and how badly I wanted to play overseas.
I'm sure that was a tough conversation.
Yeah.
Hey, man, you could also make her proud in another way. Baseball returns to the 2028 Summer Olympics in Los Angeles. Is that something that you have your eyes set on potentially competing for your country? Yeah,
most
that'd be
definitely.
pretty cool.
And I'll be the perfect age by then. You know, I'll be 21. Hopefully, you know, more talented, more knowledge in me.
Right.
You're so young, Jesus.
Yeah. I mean, let's talk about it. You know, talent wise, growing, developing yourself into a professional pitcher. What's been the biggest adjustment going from Australia to professional baseball? Has it been, you know, getting in the weight room, getting on a regimen, or, you know, working with different coaches? How has it been different for you, and what are you working on?
You know, it's a lot. I don't want to say easier, but it's definitely, there's more over here that can be provided to me in terms of a gym that we train in every day. You know, food provided to me to be able to put weight on, to put size on. A great coaching staff, pitching wise, you know, conditioning wise. All of that is going to help me in the long run. So that'll be something that I'm looking forward to this year.
You're going to have a lot of chicken, rice, and beans, man, for the next year. So hope you get used to it.
Yeah.
Before we go into more baseball talk, was there a moment when you were growing up in Australia where like, I could make a career out of this playing baseball?
I always dreamt of it. You know, I was the kid to walk around saying, you know, I'm going to be there. I'm going to be up on that big stage one day. And when I started getting older, you know, the feeling started to become more true with talent and with how much I was training. You know, the skill was getting better. So
When did you start getting scouted or start realizing that you had this potential and that MLB scouts are actually looking at you?
So in Australia, we have this thing called the Australian Youth Championships, which is when we have an under 16 tournament and an under 18 tournament of all the states in Australia who go to, it's been New South Wales for the past few years. We go to New South Wales and play against each other. And that is the main scouting opportunity for Australians. So I got a good look at my scouts there.
Did you talk to a bunch of different teams, or did you know it was going to be the Pirates early on in the process?
I had a few teams talking to me, but I felt like the Pirates were the perfect fit. You know, we have a great farm system. We have a lot of young, good players who, you know, have moved up fairly quick and who have gained a lot of talent while being in our system. So when I got offered to play for the Pirates, you know, I didn't really hesitate.
Well, before you go, Adam, I just real quick to jump off of that last question. It seems like the Pirates, if anything, in their farm system have this global footprint where they have guys from all kinds of continents. They've got guys from Africa. They've got guys from Europe. They've got you from Australia. Was that part of their pitch to you when they were recruiting or scouting you, or did you notice that?
It wasn't really, but I already had a sense for it, knowing that we had 2 other Australians, 3 other Australians, that, you know, Ugandans. We got another Ugandan this year.
Yeah.
So knowing that, it was definitely a sense of, yeah, I'd love to be down there in that culture and spending time with all these other guys who have come from different places, you know, learning what they've come through and overcome along the way.
Absolutely. Let's talk pitching, man. I want Pirates fans and people that are going to be fans of you eventually to understand your pitching style. How would you describe how you take the mound on, you know, a day-to-day basis?
I'm definitely a pitcher who wants to go out there and dominate. Yeah, I have a good live fastball, but I'd rather have a stronger mental game over a harder fastball. You know, a lot of people think that pitching or that baseball is mainly just size and, you know, how hard you can throw a ball or how far you can hit a ball. But if you don't work on your strong mentality and, you know, how you overcome things, then you're not really going to go anywhere. So I'd classify myself as a very mental based pitcher.
Love that. I actually love that. I pitched it in the very low levels in college in the States here. And if there's one thing I've learned, it's that, you know, the mental side of the game is the most important, especially on the mound. Like, you could throw 99 and not have any idea where it's going. But like when you're up there and you're not thinking as much and you have that command of those pitches and you're able to put them where you want them, that's the most important aspect of pitching. The rest of it will come, you know, as you get stronger and as you get older and you learn to pitch more. Speaking of, like, what's your current pitch mix like? Like, what pitches are you throwing, and has it evolved since you've gotten to the Pirates?
So for the moment, nothing has really changed in my pitch mix. I'm throwing a fastball, a sweeper, and a changeup. Fastball's sitting 91, 92, getting up to 95. Changeups 84 to 86, and then the sweep is 79, 80. So a good velocity difference, and I'm able to command those pitches very well.
Are those pitches that you've always thrown, or have you added anything to the arsenal since you've gotten to professional baseball?
Those are pitches that I have always thrown, but I would like to learn how to throw a cutter over here, especially with the, you know, great pitching coaches around. It's a good opportunity to be able to do that.
Do you have any goals for the velo? I mean, let's say, you know, a year from now, where would you like to be at with the fastball?
I look at my yearly growth as what I'm maxing at in this year, I want to be sitting at next year. You know, it won't necessarily always happen, but it is always a good goal to look at, to have something to push for.
Do you approach it? I don't know how much game situation you've gotten into so far, well, since you've joined the Pirates, but do you approach hitters differently here compared to back home or in international play?
I wouldn't say so. You know, I've always had that competitive style of pitching. I've always treated every hitter the same, whether it's, you know, at a professional level now or club ball back home or the Australian Youth Championships. That's the same approach.
Is there any professional pitcher now that you favored or that you model your game after in any way?
He hasn't been that healthy, but I've always loved watching Jacob deGrom.
Oh yeah,
you know, super electric pitcher. You know, Paul Skeens obviously as well.
Of course, yeah.
Young guy, you know, just got into the league last year, threw unbelievably well. That's something that I'd look to do.
Absolutely. So let's go back to the Australia discussion. Have you introduced your teammates to any Australian traditions or foods? I know you haven't been here that long, but.
So I actually brought over some Vegemite with me.
Okay.
Which is
what is that?
It's a spread for toast.
Okay.
It's very salty. Like, it's very hard to describe. So I brought that over, had some of the coaches try it. You know, a couple of the Dominican guys tried it. They didn't like it very much. But
yeah, that's very different.
Liked it.
Okay, good. Yeah, you just keep slowly integrating different things into the culture, man. That's awesome. How often are you keeping tabs back home? I know there's probably a pretty large time difference, but how has that adjustment been?
The time difference isn't too bad. You know, it's 2 hours in front and the other time of day. Okay. So it's 9 a.m. back home. You know, I'm keeping a look on all of my family and friends back home, calling them as often as I can, checking how they're doing. You know, they'll call me, how you doing? How's the experience? What's it like? Because they're guys that want to be in my situation as well. So I'm not taking any of this for granted, and I'm, you know, showing them around, and I'm, you know, telling them as much as I can, as much as I'm learning.
Awesome.
Yep. Absolutely. Not many people your age are experiencing a professional lifestyle. So I'm sure you have a lot to talk about. But let's do some, before we let you go, Robinson, I want to do some fun rapid fire questions. We usually do this with all our interviews. First, what's on the playlist right now? What would be your walk-up music, and what are you just listening to before you pitch?
It's going to sound different for an Australian, but I'm definitely a Morgan Wallen, Luke Combs kind of guy.
Country guy.
Like,
okay.
I listen to a fair bit of country music.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have a specific song that would be like a walkout song for you?
I'd say "Love Somebody" by by Morgan Wallen. Sorry.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Before you get to Pittsburgh, we're going to get you into some Wiz Khalifa and Mac Miller. All right.
Yeah. No, I rate Wiz Khalifa and Mac Miller, both Pittsburgh guys. You know, big on that. Big on that.
There you go. How about a favorite baseball movie?
I'm gonna have to say 42 because I am named after Jackie Robinson. So.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
We just had Jackie Robinson Day. That's awesome.
Yeah.
If you weren't playing baseball, what would you be doing?
Probably swimming.
Swimming?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Probably
Yeah.
swimming.
Right. There's one of the two for sure. Do you have any go-to pregame meal before you pitch?
Is it Vegemite, or is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah, it was good. That was good pronunciation. If it's the night before pitching, I definitely go to a pasta of some sorts. You know, a carbonara. I love.
Ooh,
there you go.
Love a carbonara.
Now you're talking my language. All right.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, last question from me. Do you have any superstitions before you pitch or before you take the field?
Don't step on the line. That's about it. You know,
Classic.
It's a basic.
Everyone knows that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll last to the end of time, man, for sure. Yeah. Well, Robinson, we appreciate you jumping on and taking time out of your day to introduce yourself to Pirates fans, and we look forward to following your career, man. So you're always welcome back on the show, and we appreciate you being here.
Yeah,
Of course.
we're a big Robinson Smith podcast now. So if you need us to fight for you online or do anything, just let us know. Hit us up. We'll have you on again soon.
Perfect. Thank you very much, guys.
Yep.
Best seats at the Pirates game, they let me run the base. Yeah, my time is like my money, cause I can't afford to waste. Wifey is a lawyer, take my date to my dates or the steak by the plates. And